What's up, guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 1977 Ford F-150. Up front is a 5.8 liter V8, and down below is a 4-speed manual transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this here F-150 for a couple of reasons. First of all, I just really enjoy driving older cars. This being a 70s car, it's over 40 years old. I really enjoy that. I get a very cool perspective on today's modern cars by driving the old ones. And I mean, look at this thing. This thing is absolutely beautiful. So how could I even say no to an offer like this? But before we get on to anything else, I have a website, zackpradel.com, where you can buy stickers and other merchandise when it becomes available. You can also submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me through a quick and easy submission form, and you get a video of your car just like this one. And you could read my behind-the-scenes blog to see what I'm filming before it comes out on the channel. But let's get back to that 5.8 liter, better known as the 351 V8. Well, this has been put in so many different Fords and Lincolns. I've driven it here on the channel before in several other vehicles, and it made 163 horsepower when new. But, you know, with the 4-barrel carburetor, a little bit of a tune, a little here, a little there, who knows what it's making today. That doesn't really matter. Like I said, paired to it is a 4-speed manual transmission, and first gear is pretty much useless. It is a granny gear. It's meant for slow speeds, ruts, towing, that sort of thing. So driving it here today, I've really been using it as really a 3-speed truck, starting off in second and moving my way up from there. Now, the shifter feels very good. The shifter clicks into place. I really like that, but the clutch is pretty heavy, at least in terms of what I'm used to, which is Mazda RX-7s and Honda Civics. This gives your left leg a little bit of a workout if you're not used to it, but I like that. It's a very solid feel. It's poignant. It's satisfying. It's strong, and I like that a lot. Last but not least, of course, the F-150 is 4-wheel drive, and we'll talk about how to select that a little bit later on. But with that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a bunch of gauges. On the left, I have my oil pressure and fuel, as well as my fasten seatbelt sign. In the center, I get a very nice speedometer. This really reminds me of the Lincoln Continental of the same era. And off to the right, I have my alternator and coolant temperature gauges, as well as my brake warning light. The steering wheel has since been replaced. It's been replaced by this nice wood unit that I am absolutely adoring at the current moment, and I'm very happy with. Off to the left, I do have my headlights as well as my wiper washers and a block-off plate. So this was never originally an air conditioning truck. That's where the air conditioning vents would be, but for those of you that didn't select it back in the day, you just got this block-off plate reminding you that, hey, you could have paid a little extra money for the AC. I've always found that funny. Down on the floor, not only do we have a foot-operated parking brake, but you'll see this little knob down at the bottom. That is for the high beams. This has floor-mounted high beams, which was very common here in America in our cars throughout the 50s and 60s and 70s. So if you're curious about more information on why we had floor-mounted high beams, I actually have an entire video essay about that topic that you can click on the screen now. Moving on to the door, we do have manual smoker's windows we can turn in and out, as well as, of course, manual cranks, manual locks, and the manual latch to get in and out. Very manual. Moving into the center, I have the most simple climate controls probably ever made. Fan speed, temperature, and defrost. That's it. But on this 15-degree Chicago day, it's actually not bad. It's actually working well, and I'm staying warm, so that's all I can ask this truck to do. Down below that, this is not the factory radio. However, I am a very big fan of this older style radio in these vehicles. I like preserving that nice look. Then I do have an ashtray, cigarette lighter, and of course the key. And then on the floor, we have the shifter. So the actual gear shifter is very oddly shaped to sort of work its way not only around the 4-wheel drive settings, but up from where the transmission is in the vehicle. So it looks weird, but it actually feels great. Like I said, the bushings have been redone, and it feels almost brand new. It has this really satisfying click into gear. I have no hesitation using it, except for with first gear, of course. Like I said, you don't really use first gear. Then we have the 4-wheel drive settings. So manual 4-wheel drive, you have to come to a stop. There's neutral, 4 low, 2 high, and 4 high. Really like that. I love the feeling of clunking it into 4-wheel drive. you know, those jitters that you get before you go down a trail or do something a little sketchy. Maybe you shouldn't be driving in this said place, and you drop it into 4 low. You know you're about to have a good time. I like that. The new push button stuff doesn't give you that same feeling. However, as you'll notice, which is absent from this vehicle and absent from most vehicles in this era, there is no cup holder. So the 1977 Ford F-150 fails the big friggin' bottle test. Now we got to talk about the bench seat. I love this bench seat. It's very plush. It's very comfortable. I'm bouncing here. I'm hugged by this truck, and I absolutely love that. You know, modern seats have airbags in them. They have all these regulations and requirements. This might have been stolen from your grandma's sitting room and shoved in here. It's comfortable. It's bouncy. Does it hold you in perfectly? No, but that's okay. Doesn't have to. Now, we don't have back seats, but I will talk about the bed. It is super windy today, so I'm going to do the audio from inside. But this is a step side short bed, and I really, really like just the look of it. The functionality I could give or take. But overall, I just love the ruggedness. It has these giant clasps on the outside of the tailgate, so your load doesn't go anywhere. I love that. I just love how simple and direct, to the point, and just how solid everything is on this truck. Speaking of which, let's do a full walk around of the truck. I love this blue color. It's Chicago Bears blue, baby. I love the look of it. I love the design of it. It's so unapologetically truck. This is an F-150. This is for doing work. This is for a serious person. And I love that look of it. It has a flat face because it didn't need to be curvy. It didn't need to be this, didn't need to be that. The only thing it needed to be was good at its job, and it is. So all the other stuff is just, well, it's just extra tacked on bits. And I have to say, there's not many extra tacked on bits here in the F-150. But with that stuff being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving this 77 F-150? Well, I have also driven a 79 F-250 not too long ago, and I really like that truck, and I really like this truck similarly. There's just something beautiful about driving something that isn't super complicated. There's a V8 motor up front, there's 4 gears at my right hand, a clutch at my left foot, and some seats. That's all you need. There's something just so great about it being so basic. So much to the point that if you grew up in this era, if you grew up in the 70s, if you owned one of these when this was new, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts, because I wonder if this is one of those things where, oh, the past was always better. I'm wondering if in the 70s they said, oh, trucks from the 50s were better. Oh, trucks from the 60s were better. Because I can't imagine them being much better than this. And today's narrative is always trucks used to be better. Trucks used to be better. Trucks used to be better. I'm very curious because this does seem very good. Now, this does seem very truck-like. A modern truck isn't going to destroy your back if you drive down a bumpy road. Where this one might not destroy your back, but it'll let you know. It'll give you a couple warning shots. These things are rough and tumble. They're not meant to coddle you. They're meant to do a job. And so I'm always very curious about if we just really have those rose-colored glasses, is this actually better than what we get now, or is it just all nostalgia wrapped up into our feelings? I don't know. But what I can tell you is that I love this truck. It's a good, honest vehicle. And the fact that it's getting to be towards 50 years old, people love seeing it. You know, you don't see these on the road all the time. The owner, Mark, was telling me that he drove by and some little kids were waving and smiling. They had never seen any of this. They were probably born 45 minutes ago. So they have no idea why this truck is square and why it smells weird. That's fun. That's super cool to me. Huge thank you to Mark for letting me take out his F-150. This was such a cool experience. Just driving anything from this era is always really, really special to me, and I'm very, very thankful of him. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.